Good afternoon, everyone. It's David Schlotthauer here with another detailed update on your weather as we are tracking multiple winter storms that are going to be impacting the Great Lakes, the upper Midwest, and the Northeast throughout the next 7 to 10 days. That could bring quite a bit of snowfall, strong winds, and more rounds of severe weather for the Deep South and the Southeast. Also, consider subscribing if you're new to the YouTube channel and you really like these detailed weather presentations and updates that I do give out on an everyday basis. Hitting the like button and sharing this video with their family and friends on social media so we can get this out to as many people as possible. So now we're taking a look at your Nowcast weather for Thursday afternoon and evening here over Columbus, Ohio and the Northeast as we are tracking a very powerful winter storm bringing strong winds, heavy snowfall to some areas with moderate to heavy rainfall to other areas. So let's zoom in here over Columbus, Ohio where we are seeing severe weather right now. We're seeing strong thunderstorms producing 60 to 80 mile an hour winds. That's why the Storm Prediction Center has issued an enhanced risk for severe weather over this location with a 30 SIG for damaging winds, a 2% chance for tornadoes, and a 5% or less chance of large hail in the Ohio Valley region. We are also talking about some light to moderate snowfall and icy and slushy conditions over Watertown, New York, Syracuse, New York. If you're in Albany, New York, Glens Falls, New York, we're looking at a kind of a mixed bag of snow and slush, or rain-snow mix, we should say. And then, of course, further south, where we are seeing light to moderate rainfall coming down over Oyster Bay and Long Island on the 495 corridor, Riverhead, New York, Sparta Township. If you're in Berkeley Township, Atlantic City in New Jersey, we are seeing in and out of moderate to heavy rain showers as some of the moisture advanced northward out ahead of the system that is located off towards your west. And then, of course, if you're in Providence, if you're in Boston, we're seeing a cold rain at this time. We're not seeing much in the way of rain-snow mix. And then, of course, further north we go, looking quiet now in Maine and also for New Hampshire, but it's going to be snowing pretty hard. 6 to 12 inches of snowfall is anticipated with the heavy snowfall tonight into early tomorrow or much of the day tomorrow with strong winds and some colder temperatures. That is for Concord, for Dover, for Franklin in New Hampshire. If you're in Portland, Maine, if you're in Augusta, Maine, if you're in Bangor, Maine, that's where you're going to be seeing some of the heaviest snowfall, part of this big winter storm that is headed your way. Just a quick summary of what we just talked about as far as Doppler radar goes. This is the current system that we are tracking right now into the Ohio Valley, bringing damaging winds of 60 to 80 miles an hour as noted on the Storm Prediction Center. That's going to be moving through very quickly within the next few hours. That's probably going to be out of the Ohio Valley into Pennsylvania and New York, where it's going to be bringing quite a bit of moderate to heavy snowfall, especially over New Hampshire and Maine. You can be looking at 6 to 12 inches of snowfall along to go with strong winds that are also anticipated. And then further south like New York, southern New York, portions of Connecticut and Massachusetts, that's where you're going to be likely to see lots of rainfall and strong winds with possible power outages due to the enhancement of those strong winds that are anticipated as well. Now, let me give you the latest timings and details on this current winter storm, and then we're going to be diving deeper and looking at two other snowstorms that are going to be impacting the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast in the future. These could be pretty strong as well with severe weather for the Southeast. All right, so this look at the HRRR model for this afternoon. This is right around, say, 7 p.m. in the evening for Thursday, and we can see where the heaviest snowfall is going to be moving into. As I mentioned, there's winter storm warnings for New Hampshire and Maine because of this band of moderate to heavy snowfall that is also anticipated. And then further south, that warm air advection, strong winds coming in out of the south will really lead to power outage concerns and minor flood concerns, especially on poor drainage areas, because again, some of the roads may not be completely clear from debris like leaves and branches and stuff. All right, so keep that in mind if you're driving. May see some minor flooding and ponding on some roadways. But then, of course, right here is the severe threat of side of things over the Ohio Valley. Again, the threat for isolated tornadoes, damaging wind gusts are the biggest threats with this core of heavy rainfall that are anticipated. All right, so let's dive this deeper into late tonight into tomorrow. You can see for New Hampshire and Maine, lots of snowfall is anticipated. So when you wake up in the morning for your morning commute, like at 6 a.m. on Friday, it's going to be snowing pretty good. If you're in Portland, Maine, if you're in Dover in New Hampshire, it's going to be pretty heavy snowfall along the I-95 corridor. And then, of course, cooler air aloft coming off the lakes here will enhance a little bit of lake effect snow over the Pennsylvania area, over, again, central New York here. We could be looking at some thunder snow, perhaps, out of the convective snow showers that we see with this colder air mass that is in place. And then things really taper off by the time we go into Friday evening, into the overnight hours, into Saturday morning, before more snow comes in later on in the, more so later on in the weekend into the middle of next week, where we are tracking 2 winter storms. So now we're going to look at the European model for Saturday. Again, the time and date is above my head, so make sure you're looking up there too, so that way you know what day I'm looking at, what time of the day we're also talking about, correct? So this is for, say, Saturday afternoon, right around, say, about 3 to 4 p.m., depending on which time zone you're in. And the European model indicates we're going to be tracking our next snowstorm over Kansas, over central and southern portion there of Nebraska. This is the next winter storm that is going to be developing. All right, the one that we are a little concerned about, and there's some differentials in the models, but this is still looking like a fairly robust winter storm that is going to be transiting the upper Midwest and especially over the Great Lakes into the Northeast. So let's fast forward this into Sunday morning. So right around 7 in the morning, light snow is expected for the Great Lakes, but it really gets going into, say, the Ohio Valley, Pennsylvania, and New York here. You got New Hampshire, you got Vermont up here, you got Maine, as well as, say, Connecticut, if you're in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. We're right on the border, you might see some snow. There's still some differentials in the models here of exactly which precipitation you're going to get. Right now, it is going to be a close call for Reading, Pennsylvania. Philadelphia here could get in the mixed bag of a transition back and forth between rain and snow at times. And then you can see here on the European for Monday morning, that's where the heaviest snow is going to be. And that goes all the way into Tuesday afternoon. But that's not it. There's another system right after that. We get a brief break, and then the next storm. This one looks a lot more robust, a lot more juicier than the weekend storm that you may be dealing with. And so for Tuesday next week, moderate to heavy snowfall is anticipated over, say, New Mexico, over northern Texas. And again, it's going to be a long haul here with this winter storm. You can see it clearly by Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, January the 24th and the 25th. It really gets dynamic here. We have a cold front that is going to be latched onto this surface low. We got a warm front that is going to be draped across the Tennessee Valley into the Carolinas. But to the north here, that's where there's going to be a lot of the heavy snowfall, because we got moisture advection that is going to be being thrown over the colder sector of the system. And so when we get that moisture, a lot of that condensation developing, we get a lot of snowfall that forms, right? When we take a look here at Wednesday morning into the early afternoon hours, it goes over portions there of central and southern Illinois, Missouri, as well as Indiana. Yeah, this could be a big deal for a lot of you folks that live up here in the upper Midwest. The Ohio Valley, another major winter storm is looking possible here. There's still some ambiguities here between the models. If I didn't say it correctly, ambiguities, so there's a lot of uncertainty here as far as where and exact will this winter storm develop, right? This may go a little further north, it may go a little further south, so please do not quote me on this because there's going to be a lot of differences in the models, all right? There's still a lot of room for change in the numerical guidance. All right, so that's Wednesday afternoon. Let's go into, say, Thursday early morning. It goes into the northeast here, bringing light to moderate to perhaps heavy snowfall and strong winds. Maybe some blizzard conditions cannot be ruled out with this. And yes, this could impact the same areas like winter storm number 2. Not to be confused, this is winter storm number 3. The first one going through now, the second one this weekend, and then the third one by the middle of next week. So we got a lot of nasty weather to talk about here in the next 7 to 8 days, and then that moves out, and then maybe some more winter storms thereafter. The GFS model, again, wants to develop this system pretty similar to the European model, literally right in the same spot. The GFS has this maybe a little bit further north, but it doesn't really matter. Maybe it matters to you. Maybe 5 to 10 miles could make all the difference between snow or rain for a few of you guys that watch these videos. And of course, this gets into Maine, bringing moderate to heavy snowfall throughout Sunday into Monday, and then the next system here develops on the GFS model for the middle of next week. So we looked at the Euro, this is the GFS, and it really shows a very dynamic system, strong winds, blizzard conditions, boy oh vey, for northern portion there of Indiana, also for, say, Michigan, really getting impacted. The European model had it a lot further south than the GFS that has it a lot further north, and a little bit more deeper and windier and colder, which could mean more stronger dynamics, including the threat here for severe weather too. I forgot to mention that on the European model. Maybe some tornadoes, some damaging winds, and some large hail down here over Tennessee, the Carolinas, Georgia, and Alabama, and Mississippi as that kind of transits the area. And then that moves out of the area by the time we go into Thursday and Friday, with maybe some lingering lake effect snow and orographic snow effect showers over West Virginia and the Tennessee region, as well as Indiana, Ohio, and portions of the Northeast, okay? This is also pretty well supported on the GEFS, or the Global Ensemble Forecasting System, and we can see with what we have here. Again, this is not going to be high resolution. This is an ensemble. All 20 members agreeing on the same thing, right? The more they agree, the more likely you're going to see something, right? So these are 20 different members that run the operational GFS deterministic model, and we can see there is a little bit of snow here, which means there's pretty good agreement that there is going to be some sort of impacts. And then you can see that winter storm moving into the northeast. While it looks like there's light snow, there is general agreement by the ensembles that that's going to likely occur. And then there's more winter storms after that, especially this winter storm that tries to develop by the middle of next week. We can see where the surface low actually is. So by Wednesday and Thursday, this is looking more likely than not on the GEFS model, or the Global Ensemble Forecasting System, okay? And that snow could get a little heavier because there's more agreement on much of the members that run the model, and that means more snow, likely snowfall that is anticipated for the Northeast. So that system looks a little bit more likely on the ensembles. The European ensemble in the next 7 to 8 days also indicates there's going to be quite a bit of snow, anywhere between 12 to 18 inches across the extreme Northeast, like New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, including for Maine. All right, these are 2 winter storms combined. Please understand that this is just not all by itself with one winter storm. These are combining 2. So we can see the second winter storm could bring anywhere between maybe 3 to 6 inches of snowfall over, say, portions of, say, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. While again, there's going to be a lot more snowfall for the extreme Northeast. I did want to show you all really quickly the drought monitor map. There has been some significant improvements in regards to a lot of the rainfall and snowfall that we have gotten in California here. We're now down into the moderate to severe drought. Literally just a month ago, we were in the extreme to exceptional drought category. So some good news here that we have seen some pretty big improvements, all thanks to the relentless, never-ending parade of storms of atmospheric rivers that have delivered substantial, exceptional amounts of rainfall and snowfall for our region. Still the ongoing drought here in the high plains and the deep south, like Texas, as well as Florida. but at least hopefully things will improve once we get all these snowstorms that move into the area. But right now it's looking pretty serious. Exceptional droughts in Kansas, in the crosshairs of the worst drought possibly in quite a few years in that area, and including that for Oklahoma under an extreme to exceptional drought. So you guys really need the moisture quite a lot, but it looks like you're not going to get anything anytime soon that looks to be a drought busting, but it should hopefully make things a little bit better here. All right. Anyways, if you really did like the video and the detailed discussion that I did in this video today, please consider subscribing. It really helps out a lot. And also make sure you have all notifications turned on so you do not miss out on any videos that I do have. I am really trying to get back onto a better schedule where I upload every day consistently anywhere between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That would be 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. back across the eastern seaboard. All right, so make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe, share, and like, and I will be sure to keep you all updated here on an everyday basis with this upcoming massive winter storm mayhem for the Great Lakes and the Northeast over the next 8 days.